And it's always a bit of a fun challenge to determine where to start with the fake news on each and every day. How about the AP's report that Trump threatened the president of Mexico? The AP reported that Trump called the president of Mexico and said, look, if you don't take care of those bad hombres down there that you've got, we're going to send in the American military to do it. The AP claimed that Trump told the Mexican president, Enrique Peña Nieto, that in effect, if he didn't take care of their bad hombres down there, that we would send in the U.S. military. And the Washington Post and others in the drive-bys ran with the AP story. Even the AP story, if you read deep enough down it, article admitted that Mexico denied that version of events. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the president of Mexico is not a credible source. He was on the call, but his sourcing is not credible if he doesn't go along with the primary narrative of the story. The narrative is that Trump got on the phone, bullied the president of Mexico, and threatened to send troops to get rid of bad hombres. The head honcho of Mexico said, no, it didn't happen, but they say we can't count on this guy as a source. Even the foremost purveyor of fake news, CNN, and they are. I don't think there's anybody even close to CNN in terms of fake news. Maybe BuzzFeed running a close second, but man, and they're all tightly bunched in there. But CNN clearly leading the pack in fake news. They even called the AP out on their report. Even CNN, the primary purveyors of fake news, questioned the AP report that Trump called the president of Mexico and said, we're sending the troops in if you don't get rid of bad hombres down there. CNN said that the readout of the call that they saw showed that Trump was offering aid, not making threats. He was offering to help the president of Mexico get rid of the bad hombres they've got down there. That's a huge difference. You know how many people ran with a fake story? How many of you believe that Trump was on the phone with the president of Mexico today and threatened him? Threatened to send troops? Many of you are probably going, right on. Now you're disappointed that it isn't true. Right? Many of you are like, that's right, we need to send the military down there and clean that place out. And now you're finding out it isn't true. You're a little disappointed. And then Australia. This is a big one. First thing you have to understand, the current Prime Minister of Australia is practically a carbon copy clone of the new left-wing child socialist in Canada. What's his name, Trudeau? Justin Trudeau. Yeah, now the guy in Australia is a little older than Justin Trudeau, but he's still wacko leftist. And the drive-by media are having conniptions over Trump's phone call to the Australian Prime Minister. His name is Malcolm Turnbull. Now, in this call, Trump supposedly denounced as dumb the deal that Obama had struck where the United States would trade some illegal aliens from Central America for the 1,200 refugees from Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan. Refugees that Australia will not let into their country. What this is really all about is that they're Central American refugees. Australia won't let them in. Australia won't let them in. They send them here. And Trump said, the hell with that. Now, on this Australia business, Australia has been under intense pressure from its citizens to not allow immigrants into their country. This is something that you'll not know if all you're reading today is the story about Trump's phone call to the Australian Prime Minister. But the citizens of Australia don't want any part of these worldwide refugees and illegal immigrants because they have been flooded with boat people, many of them coming from Muslim Indonesia. Australia's current government and its two leading political parties, the ruling Liberal National Coalition and the Labour opposition, both of Australia's main parties support tough asylum policies. And they have a coalition government there. And it made Australia's asylum policy even tougher when they took power in 2013, 3.5 years ago. They introduced something called Operation Sovereign Borders, which put the military in control of asylum operations in Mexico. You think what's happening here is strange. In Australia, they're dead serious. They don't want any part of it. They don't want any of these boat people refugees from Islamic nations in Indonesia. They don't want Central American refugees. They don't want illegal immigration. They've seen what's happened to Europe. They see what's happening in the United States. They don't want any part of it. As such, there's an agreement. Obama had an agreement with Australia. Okay, whoever you don't want, send to the United States. Did you know that, folks? Obama had an agreement with Australia. Fine, if you don't want the Muslims from Indonesia, if you don't want the boat people from Central America or wherever else they're from, then send them to the United States. We'll take some of them. The government of Australia, I'm going to nick a time here, but the government of Australia says that its policies have restored the integrity of its borders. Even asylum seekers are found to be actual refugees. They're not allowed to be settled in Australia. They're sent to an offshore processing center. But Obama, go ahead and sit. And that's what Trump's objecting to. We're not just going to keep our borders open. I mean, the rest of the nations of the world cannot dump their problems on us. That's all he's saying. Exactly what he said he would do during the campaign, folks. Exactly.